Oh, Canada.
Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I'm still chewing. Hold on.
I do realize that. Hey, listen, man, listen. I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, you ever had them days where, like, you might not feel like coming to practice, but as soon as you get to practice and you see the fellas, you're like, I'm ready to go. Let's do it. It doesn't take long. You're just ready to go. And it was one of them days where I was like, all right, do I have it today? I do. As soon as I saw a tone, I was like, all right, I'm ready to go. Let's go. No doubt about it. I'm ready to go.
Were you not feeling it today?
I was like, I'm ready to go. Let's do it. Let's go. I'm down. I'm down to do it. Let's go. And Tone, I want to at some point, maybe not today, because we got a lot of stuff going on today, but maybe not today. But at some point, Tone, I want to sit down. I want to have a serious conversation about Steph Curry and Magic Johnson. And the reason why I want to have a serious conversation is because I want to talk to somebody. I want to talk about this with somebody who knows basketball, as opposed to Magic clears Steph Curry. Curry clears Magic. And like, I want to get down to.
I want to talk about it with me, not the guys on the panel.
I want to talk. No, that.
Let's go. Clip that.
No, because I talk to the fellas too, but I just hear all the time about how Curry clears Magic or how Magic clears Curry, and this isn't. I'm like, can we actually have a conversation about these two dudes?
It is never that clear cut. Never. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it today. It's on the agenda because we're going to talk about each position, first, second, maybe third, and what the gap is between that first and second, because you and I think are going to disagree on that one.
Yeah, I think
I think we disagree on the number of those. I
think we are going to disagree on the Tone. I do. And I think that we're not only going to disagree on the players, but how far the gap is between these guys. I think that's
100%. I think we're going to agree on. I bet you we agree on 4. Of the 5 traditional positions, I think we'll agree on 4. We'll disagree on 1 because I know I have one that's pretty controversial. But I think the gap, I think that's where we'll have our disagreement, is on the gap.
We may have that. I feel like, and I want to talk to you about it. I really do. I definitely want to talk to you about it. But I just want to have an honest conversation about Curry and Magic. That's really all I want to do. I want to have an honest conversation about these two dudes and about, who they are and what they really are.
I'm going to say something right now. And I'm saying it right now when there's, because we normally get our most viewers kind of tune in at about the 45-minute mark. So before a bunch of people come in and they go nuts with what I'm about to say, the more I dive into the greatest shooter of all time, as a basketball player, and there's a big difference.
Those two things ain't the same thing.
I feel like I overrated him a little bit.
It's like Nick being the best dunker of all time, but then you look at Nick as a basketball player and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Nick might have been better than what I thought he was.
Yeah. Nick is the opposite, because we don't give him enough credit for his ability to shoot.
Yeah, Nick might be better than what I think he is. And your logic with Curry and
I got to be careful, because if Fluent Jr. hears me saying anything negative about Curry, me and my son are
he's coming for you. He's coming for you. 100%. He's coming for you, and I'm not holding him back neither. I'm not gonna hold him back, because I know he's ready to jump on you anyway. He 100% is. He's ready to jump on you. No doubt about that, Tom.
So let's start with topic number 1.
What's that?
I'm going to read this. I'm going to read it.
Said that, Tone. Ain't no way she said that. There's no way.
credible sources who have said this is a real quote. Y'all make $1,400 a week talking to the press. I make $1,400 in 7 days.
There's
Here's
no way
the thing.
this,
Here's
No
the thing. I'm not gonna be the one that makes fun of her. I will tell you how she meant it, which was we make the same. She was saying, like, you're reporters who make $1,400 in a week and I make $1,400 in 7 days. Like, she was actually referring to, like, we make the same money and I'm a pro athlete. But the way she said it, right? Like, you got to hear what she says right before this and right after it for you to understand. But she allowed this clip, this quote, which is 100% real, to be like, this is why I tell people, when someone clips something, when someone quotes something, you better go listen to the 5 minutes leading up to it and the 5 minutes after it, because if you don't, you get a quote like this that says, y'all make $1,400 a week. I make $1,400 in 7 days.
So what is this in context to? Because, okay, is it
talking about reporters and saying, look, we make the same amount of money. She's basically saying 6 of one, half dozen of another.
Yeah.
And just that's what she's trying to express, is to say, you guys make $1,400 a week. I make $1,400 in 7 days. It's the same thing.
What I'm trying to figure out is what was the context.
We make the same amount of money is what you
right. I get that, and I get that part. That part I'm not oblivious to. What I'm trying to figure out is are you using this in context that we are the same? Are you using this in the context that I'm no better than you, you're no better than me? We make the same amount of money in a week? That shouldn't be the case. I do. I think it's I'm a pro athlete and I make the same money as reporting on my sport, which shouldn't be the case. Right. That shouldn't be the case. Right. It shouldn't be the case. Because if I read this at face value, I'm like, could you imagine Brian Windhurst making the same amount of money as LeBron James? No, I couldn't. Now, I'm not saying she's LeBron James, but could you imagine him making the same amount of money as Andre Drummond? No. Not that she's Andre Drummond, but sure. I get I do understand the gist of it, Tone. What I'm trying to make sense of with her is, because it sounds like with her, it's always something in the press, and it's always something that leads to a wild ass comment. And what people do is people they hear one thing like that right there. When I saw that, I'm thinking, okay, there's no way she said that. But then I'm thinking, I'm like, there's no way she said that. Nah. But then I'm thinking, okay, well, wait a minute. What was the conversation about when she said that? We can't just take that and run with it and go, yo, this chick is dumb as hell. She ain't that smart. Wait a minute. Whoa. What was the conversation about? What was this in context to? So if it was in context to her not being paid, because that was the talking point with her in the union, in the WNBA. If that's the case, okay, all right, I make the same amount of money as reporters, and I work my ass off. We aren't paid what we owed, stuff like that. All right, I get that part, no doubt about it. But to say that just to take that comment right there and run with it, no, that's not what's up. That's why I'm like, there's no way she said that. There's got to be more to this than that. No way. Yeah, listen, everything I've said is said it was a real comment, but I tried to find out what the context behind it was, and that's what I've so far found out. I was having a conversation with somebody, and we're going to get into our longer topics in a minute. What up? When Shaq coming? Not today. Oh, not today? Yeah. Good night. Go to bed. No, it's not bedtime. It's only 8 o'clock. That's right. It is only 8 o'clock. All right. Yeah, we'll get with you later. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'll let you know. So for you guys that don't know, that's my nephew. That's his father right there. So just gonna walk in and can we have that's what he does. Mm-hmm. We have a conversation right in. Completely like not at that completely inappropriate time. Let's have that conversation right now. Let's do it. Mm-hmm. Just put that on blast. Another conversation with somebody else who said nobody pre-2000 had any muscle mass. That's Nate Thurman right there. Nate Thurman looks like he's got some pretty good muscle mass. Yes, have you seen this?
I knew he
Nate
was
Thurman.
big, but damn.
Yes, Nate Thurman, and that's a 25-year-old Nate Thurman. He is rocked up, sliced up. Yes, sir.
I will
There's
say
a reason why Nate Thurman was averaging 17, 18 rebounds a game. It makes sense now.
I will say this. He was skipping leg day.
He
He
100%.
100% was skipping leg day.
It was all up top, Tone. Yeah. It was all up top. Yes, it was.
Oh man, look, like
Mm-mm.
he's 25 years old. Look how bald he is.
Yeah, and this is in like 1970. This is in like 74, something like that. This is in the 70s.
That's the reason I picked this specific one is
Mhm.
because they were like before 2000. I'm like, you can go back to the 60s and 70s and you had dudes
Yeah.
like this to say that they had no. It was just I found it funny. So,
Well, Tone, you've said to me countless times, which blows my mind when I hear about how much better the athlete is today than what it was 30, 40 years ago. When people don't understand that human evolution is millions of years in the making.
millions.
The evolution of an athlete doesn't happen in 30 years. No, that's not the way that works. The evolution of the athlete doesn't happen in 50 years. Don't get me wrong. The equipment might be better because it's in color.
And the
on
game
TV.
evolves. The game itself evolves.
100%.
But the person doesn't. Like it's like you said. They always say, "Oh, they're much more athletic." I'm like, really? Their vertical leaps on average, no change. Just think about even, and this means less in basketball, but even think Olympic athletes. The 100-meter, it's fractions of a second. That will not make a difference on the basketball court. None. Zero. Even their strength, right? Like if you look at the average NBA player, their height has fluctuated since like 1960 between 6'7" and 6'6" as the average height. Because I heard people saying, in the 60s, Wilt went up against a bunch of guys that were 5'10". And I'm like, no, he went up against a bunch of guys that were on average the same height as they are today. However, they are like 20 pounds heavier. And I will say in most cases, I believe that to be muscle. Then like they're not fatter. I think there's more muscle. Muscles apparently weigh more than fat. Right. So, but it's small. It's not huge. It's not a huge like they're not that much faster, that much stronger, that much further. It's not. There's the skill thing we always fight about. They're more skilled in certain things. Less
because they're allowed to be, by the way, Tone. Because they're allowed to be.
They're forced to be. That's forced to be. Okay. Like you find me a 7-footer, they can dribble, shoot, pass better than every 7-footer, 40 years ago. Yeah. But ask them to post up, ask them to, defend, ask them to block a shot. They're not nearly as good. Ask them to rebound, which is a lot of positioning, and they're not as good. I heard this coach, and I wish I would have saved the clip because he says something so amazing. Basketball players today are so phenomenal at the hardest things and so much worse at the easy things.
I think the term was called upside down.
Yeah. Have you heard this before?
I did. He phrased the term is phrased upside down basketball.
Yes. That's who it was. Yes, upside down basketball.
It's upside down basketball where they're elite. His exact words home was they're elite at the hard things, but they're terrible at the fundamental things.
Yeah.
Which when I first heard that, it was mind blowing because I was like, wow.
And then you dive deeper and you're like, no, he's right. Because
by the way,
talk about positioning, if we talk about positioning and footwork and that stuff, they're horrible. But then you talk about, can they, hit a step back 3 with their offhand, fading away, and you're like, they can do that. And it's like, what?
Well, I had asked the question. This was probably 2 years ago, Tone. I had asked the question: how many guys do you think in today's game actually know how to play basketball? Right? There's a difference between playing basketball and knowing how to play basketball. Something as simple as slipping a screen, knowing how to back screen, then flash to the ball, knowing when you screen which foot to pivot off to dive to the basket, knowing how to roll. That's fundamental stuff. That's not stuff that's advanced, right? And to your point, to not know how to do that, but Boy, when I put the ball in his hands, he can throw the ball between his legs 3-4 times, behind the back exchange, and then step back to make space and make a three. He can do that. But Tone, ask that dude ask him to back screen and then ask him to pop to the ball and hit a mid-range jump shot. Ask him to do that. And don't ask him to do it in a drill. Ask him to do it in the game and see how quickly he can pick it up. I bet he can't do it.
That's crazy to me.
Upside down basketball. When I first heard that, I was like, wow, I never thought about that. That's
upside down. Yes,
really
I won't forget it again. Upside down basketball is my new favorite term. So really I thought that was interesting.
Yep.
I have no idea what I'm clicking on next. So this will be a here we go. All right.
Interesting.
Are we gonna do we should do, and I don't know, you know, what we're gonna look like in August. So just let everybody know in August, you know, we're not gonna be as regular. We're gonna take a few weeks off here and there. You know, let Chill get some vacation time. I've approved it, so we're good to go.
You see that tan he got? I'm trying to get one of those. You see that tan that my man got? See how fresh my man looks?
Some people are going to think I'm crazy when I ask this question, but you'll understand. When you're out in the sun, do you go darker or do you go red?
I go darker.
You go darker? Okay.
I do.
And people are going to think I'm crazy and like, why would you ask that? You know some people who like, they'll go red. Right? No. But
there's people who tan and then
where they get red, like
absolutely, they're cooked. They look like a lobster, 100%.
Because I had a friend who's Jamaican Guyanese, and it's like he's not getting darker. He looks like he's become a ginger. Like I was like, what happened? He goes, when I get in the sun, I get red, and it's like freckles and hair. And I'm like, what the hell? It was like so weird for me, just like it's crazy. But anyways, okay, so I was curious. So yes, you need to get some time off. So that being said, we'll fill in. On those weeks that we are on, I want to talk about each division, each conference, and kind of do something like this. Let me make us a little bit smaller here. That's not doing it. So we can see the full graphic. Okay, so NBA off-season power rankings. This is Eastern Conference, obviously.
Yeah.
Cavs at 1.
Yep.
I think we're good there.
Yep.
Right. Knicks,
the Cavs at 1. The Cavs at 1. They still haven't filled the hole of. I mean, they ended up losing Ty Jerome. They replaced Isaac Okoro with Lonzo Ball, and I mean, I still think they got a really good rotation. But when I think about the Cavs, Tone, when you and I had this conversation in the beginning of the 23-24 season, I feel the same way about the Cavs as I did about the Boston Celtics. Everything that's necessary to win the NBA championship, you have it. There are no excuses this season. It's a toughness issue with Cleveland more than anything. I don't think that there's any holes that they have. Like people say, well, they got a small backcourt. Well, I mean, the Knicks had a small backcourt. Jalen Brunson is not that big. And Mikal Bridges is 6'5", 6'6". Donovan Mitchell is 6'3". So there's not that big of a difference between them. And Jalen Brunson isn't very good in terms of a defender, but he will compete on the defensive end. And they were in the East Finals. With that being said, this Cavs team, offensively, they had the best. I think they had the best pick and dive offense in the league last year. They had one of the best pick and pop offenses in the league. They had a top 10 defense. They had one of the best rotations in the league. They end up getting DeAndre Hunter, one of the best rotation players in the league. At one point, he was in contention for Sixth Man of the Year. With that being said, Tone, everything that's necessary in order to win the NBA championship, they have it. It's a toughness issue. They're still getting pushed around. That has to change. If they can do it, if they can fix that, right? If they can fix that, I think that they can win. I got them winning the NBA championship this year. I do.
And now you've been saying that, just so we're clear, you've been saying that for 2 years that you've got them winning the NBA championship this year. So last year was never your thing anyway. So, you know, what the fact that they didn't go as far as a lot of people had thought they would go, you weren't surprised. Not to say you weren't surprised, but that wasn't their year in your opinion.
Well, anyway. Tone, you can expect. Tone, where did I have them last season? When I would talk to you about them
in the conference or playoffs?
Overall, like what was the ceiling for the Cavs last season?
I think you said the ceiling was Eastern Conference Final.
That was as far as I had them going. I didn't think that they were there yet. I didn't.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I'm aware that you were trying to get me on the bandwagon, but still saying not an NBA championship, and you always said next year. So they're still ranked number one. I think they're gonna finish the regular season as the number one seed again. So no question there. The Knicks at 2, and already I have a question mark. I already have a question mark. The Knicks fire Tibbs, bring in Mike Brown, basically giving into the players and saying, yes, you win. Tibbs was too hard, and we're bringing in a player-friendly coach. Now, let's keep in mind, Mike Brown has led a number of teams to the number one seed in the NBA. I just don't think this team is going to be focused, nor should they be, on the regular season. I think they realize their job is to be fresh, ready to go in the playoffs. And I think Mike Brown is going to be a very different type of coach than Tibbs was. And even though Tibbs got better with rotations, he still goes, he still would always fall back. You are who you are. So I think he at times he always fell back to, these are my 7 guys and I'm not playing anybody else. And I think Brown will allow them to rest and pull them out. And I don't want to say load manage because I don't think he's going to go that far, but maybe. I think you're going to see less Jalen Brunson this season. I think you're going to see less Cat in the regular season this season. I think he realizes what a difference maker OG Anunoby can be, and he's going to give him off and on whatever. So I that's what I think. Yep. So I think they're, and I'm not far. I think they're probably the 3 seed.
I got them at the 2 seed. I think you and I differ on the regular season. I think that they're going to take the regular season very much into account. I mean, the Indiana Pacers coming in, they win both of those games in their building. I think that Mike Brown is going to have his team more prepared to play at home than they did last season. That's number one. I think the offense is going to change. I think this heliocentric Jalen Brunson having the basketball the majority of the time. Tony, I had a stat read to me today. I didn't even notice Jalen Brunson. He has the ball. I think Jalen Brunson, he averaged 36 minutes a game. Of those 36 minutes, he had the ball 9 minutes a game. That's incredible for a player that's almost 3 minutes a quarter that he's got the ball. That's incredible, right?
If you think 9 minutes a game, and so break this down a little further, right? Not that it's always equal, but 48 minutes, right? Yeah. In theory, 24 minutes per team.
Sure. So
9 minutes, right? So almost 12 minutes would be half. So almost half of the time, 9 minutes, probably like a third of the time. The ball's in his hand. 9 out of 24 minutes. Right?
That's more than a third, Tone.
It's like 40%. Yeah, it's like 40% of the time the ball, like for one player to have 40%,
we're not going to win like that.
Insane.
We're not going to win like that.
You're actually making my point.
Yeah. And
you're making that's why I think they lose a few more games, is because they're going to be developing these other players, rightfully so. And that's where those losses.
Where do you think that? Where do you think in terms of this development, does the offense have to change tremendously for there to be this kind of shift, or is it going to be something quick? Because to be honest with you, Tone, I don't think that this is something that's going to be dragged out for a long period of time over the course of the season. I don't think that Jalen Brunson getting the ball taken out of his hands is a punishment more than it is we're going to be better, right? I don't think that it's him. Okay, give me the ball because you're dribbling too much. No, it's more.
I'm not comparing players. I'm not comparing players.
Right.
However, the ball coming out of Jordan's hand wasn't to punish him because he did great things when the ball was in his hand, but it made more sense from a team perspective to do that. And there's a lot of players who the ball's in their hand a lot that they would probably serve the team better, not their stats, but their team better if the ball was out of their hands. And I think this is
Luka, like Luka, for example. When he
I mean a lot like Luka in Dallas. Absolutely. right? Just imagine if the ball was out of his hand, and they did it more with Brunson, but
Yeah.
like if they had the ball in Brunson's hands a little bit more,
Sure.
right? And there's players like that. Again, it's not a bad thing. It's not a negative. No one's knocking anybody. It's just for the team to be better, right?
Mhm.
Like if you know he's got the ball in his hands 40% of the time, he's going to be taking the last shot, and no one gets the opportunity ever to do it. It makes you easier, not easy,
Less difficult.
less difficult to defend, right? And then you get into trouble when it matters because
More difficult.
you're you're one dimensional. You're one dimensional.
Yes, you are. You're less difficult.
So yeah, I think it's a good thing. I agree, but I think because of that, because they're going to develop some bench guys, they're going to do some of these things. These guys are going to get a little bit of rest because and that's like I said, it's not far 2-3, but that it's going to be the 1 or 2 games difference that drops them to the 3 seed because 2-3 seed doesn't matter. I guess it matters in the second round if you're now on the road instead of at home.
Yeah,
but it's not like they were great at home. Not like they were great at home anyways.
I got the Knicks at the 2 spot. I think that, to your point, I think that he's going to take the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hands, not grabbing the ball out of his hands. I think the ball's going to move a little bit more. Yeah. And I think guys like I think guys like OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, I think Mike Brown loves those kind of guys. And I think those guys are going to be involved in offense a lot more than they. And I think that that's going to be beneficial to them. Also, Cat, too, because remember, too, Tone, when he was in Sacramento and they went to the playoffs that year, I think Sacramento had like a top 3 pace. So I expect the Knicks to play faster, too. I think they're going to speed the game, too.
I just had Fluent Jr. in a PGC. I don't know if you're familiar with PGC, but in a PGC camp. And they do a lot. And it's a point guard camp. And talking a lot. And they show a lot of Golden State Warriors, the Spurs, especially the Spurs, and they're like, you have 0.5 seconds to either shoot the ball, penetrate, like drive, or pass it.
Do something with the ball. Like, why are you holding on to the ball?
And they show, and specifically, they've got like a bunch of stuff with Steph Curry talking about it and being like, you have to make the decision that fast, right? Yep. And you see in those offenses, right, where they do make those quick decisions, that the ball moves a lot quicker. You get a lot more open shots, a lot more layups, dunks, etc., like very, very open opportunities. And so it's just like, imagine the firepower that the Knicks do have, right? Like, I think they do have that. If now they're moving the ball around and sharing it, because you know who's going to benefit the most out of that? It's actually Brunson.
It is. Because
he's not going to have to like dribble and take as much abuse, but he's now going to get, because of the motion and the ball, I think the quote was, make the ball the best athlete on the court. Which
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Right? Like, I love that.
Who moves faster than the ball? Nobody.
Mm-mm.
And so if you do that, now Brunson's going to get in space where he's going to have now open shots, better lanes to drive. It will actually make him better. Even though now the ball it's out of his hands, and you would think that it sounds counterintuitive, like taking the ball out of hands to make him better. Yes, 100% it will. And yes, Kai, it is a great camp. I'm actually
I like that, Tom.
I like that a lot.
Make the ball the best athlete. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Who we got at number 3?
Number 3, they got the Orlando Magic, whose big offseason splash is going to be a dud.
You think so?
It's gonna flop.
I don't understand why you think that, Tom. Adding this kid Desmond Bane is exactly what they were looking for. Exactly, because Desmond Bane is going to be what KCP was supposed to be. A guy who can stretch the defense, a guy who can defend. Now you got 2 guys in the backcourt in both Jalen Suggs and Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane can knock down the long ball. Desmond Bane can play in the mid-range. He's a little in terms of him being a defender. He's a great team defender. Individually, I think that he can defend, but I think he's a better team defender than he is an individual defender. And I think Orlando's defense is going to be their calling card. With their defense being their calling card, guys like Paolo, guys like Franz cleaning up the glass. I think that guys like Desmond Bane are going to get better opportunities. Now then, you got rotation guys, right? You got because Cole Anthony is gone, so you got rotation guys like Jonathan Isaac. He's still there. Jonathan Isaac is still one of the better defenders in the league. I think that this team, their calling card is going to be their defense. I think Paolo comes back better as an individual offensive player, not just a scorer, but an offensive player. And I think he's a lot better, and that's going to be the catalyst. Health for this team is going to be the difference, Tone. Because guys like Jonathan Isaac, Franz was hurt last year. Paulo was hurt last year. If these guys can stay healthy, I got them as a top 3 seed in the East next season.
I'm not going to tell you where I have them. I don't have them there. I'll tell you.
I was about to say, because I'm looking at your face, Tony. Let me tell you what this sound like. This sound like Philly last year.
No, not that far. Not that far.
Okay, because I was about to say this. This sounds like
I say it with the same amount of confidence that I told you last year Philly's going to stink and be a lottery team, and I was right. This is the same amount of confidence that I say about Orlando, but it's not as drastic. It is not that drastic.
Tone, you would tell essentially what you told me, Tone, was Jay, don't buy this car. It's a lemon.
I told you don't buy that stock because it's going to tank, and it 100% tanked.
It's gonna, Jay. Do not buy this.
Yes,
and I know it looks good right now, but I'm telling you, it's gonna go through.
This one I'm saying, still buy some stock. Just don't go crazy. Don't pull your whole life savings into it, and don't expect a huge return. It's going to be a safe investment that'll give you,
like 5 to 10%, like maybe 5%.
That's going to be your baseline, so you can take risks with certain other things, right?
Okay. All right.
Detroit at 4 is my probably biggest jump of any team up or down.
Yeah.
Detroit will be the number 2 seed.
You got them as a 2 seed. Tony, Detroit is the number 2
Avs
seed.
at 1, Detroit at 2, the Knicks at 3.
If the Detroit Pistons are the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference next year, one of these dudes on this Detroit Pistons team is Cade Cunningham is in league MVP talk. If they're that good.
Cade Cunningham will be flirting with it, but he'll be on the bottom end of it. But he'll absolute first All NBA. Like, he will take another, and you'll be like, damn, he's going to take another jump, and it's not going to be statistically just like last year, where everyone's like, well, his stats are the same.
Yeah.
You're going to see him be a different player, a better leader, and this team is going to be the number 2 seed. They know how close they were last year, right? Yep. They know we were one bad call away from
really challenging
and making an upset and making a name for ourselves. They're going to come in so hungry. And look, am I saying that's going to result in better results in the playoffs? Nope. I'm just telling you they're going to come in hungrier, and they're going to be the number 2 seed.
Well, you just said something, Tone, that was real interesting about Cade Cunningham, because a lot of people, they see the same numbers and they think that there's no improvement. When in reality, that couldn't be the furthest from the truth. I saw Jordan. I bring up Michael Jordan as a prime example, where I see Jordan averaging 37. I see Jordan averaging 35. Then I see Jordan in 1991 averaging 31, and I'm like, that Jordan was better than all of them dudes previous to him. So when I think about Cade Cunningham, if I see Cade Cunningham, I think he was 25, almost 26, 8 in 6 last season. If I could get that on better efficiency, less turnovers, a smarter player, better shot selection, Detroit's going to be much better. The key to this, Tone, and I don't have them as high as you do, because that's where you and I separate. That's where we disagree. Yep. I actually have them at 5. I don't have them at 4. I have them at 5.
Oh, you don't even have the top 4 seed?
No, I got them at the 5 seed. And the reason why I got them at the 5 seed is because I'm not sure about Jalen Duren defensively. I think Jalen Duren as a rebounder, as a rebounder, fantastic, Tone. One of the best rebounders in the game. And I think that's extremely important when you're trying to get stops. You have to rebound the basketball. That's going to be huge. I need to see the improvement in the pick and roll. I need to see the improvement in one-on-one. He overruns a lot of plays. He fouls a lot. And he fouls in a lot of precarious situations.
Yeah, he does.
That's a problem with him. On top of that,
that's not going to change. I just don't think he is I'm not saying low, but I just don't think he's a very high IQ player. I think he's going to get those stupid fouls just because of his aggressiveness, which you love, but also it hurts you.
It could be to your detriment too, sure. Yeah. And the thing that I'm also thinking about with him, his touch around the rim, I'd like to see it get better. I'd like to see him get better, put some more moves in his offense. I'd like to also see if they can stay healthy. One of the main reasons why they struggled against the Knicks last year, because Isaiah Stewart went out of the lineup. If Isaiah Stewart was healthy, I think that was another big body that they had on the floor that I think could have helped them deal with Cat. On top of that, they get Jaden Ivey back in the lineup, right?
And that's the big one for me. I think he is going to be the one that, again, he's coming in. I love guys, like you've said this about Ayton, and we'll talk about that when we talk about the West. Guys who are in like contract years or guys who have something to prove.
Sure.
Jaden missing the season is just like, I think he's like, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys that I'm that final piece that y'all needed.
Yeah.
And I think he has a big season.
I think Detroit sees him that way too, to be honest with you, which would explain why they didn't entertain any trade talks with him over the summer and why we haven't heard anything about him this summer.
Just think about it. Another team, if you get a healthy Isaiah Stewart and Jaden back, did any other team? Okay, let me rephrase that because there were some, but not many teams got that much of an upgrade, and these are just their own guys. Like they didn't have to, and they did bring in people from the outside, but they didn't even have to bring in anybody from the outside just to get that bump.
And then they add in because you're going to lose Malik Beasley, right?
Yeah.
You're going to lose Tim Hardaway Jr., which is a problem, sure. But and you also lose Dennis Schroeder, so I think that's a big deal in terms of your rotation. But you add guys like Karis LeVert, you get Isaiah Stewart back. I think Ron Hollins is going to be better this season. I like this Detroit team, and I like what they're doing. And I'm on record saying it, Tone. Last season, I think that the Central Division, I think it was the toughest division in basketball. So if you think about of all the divisions in the of all the divisions in basketball, think about the Western Conference in the Northwest Division with Utah and Oklahoma City and Denver, right? Minnesota. If you think about the Pacific Division with the Lakers, the Clippers, Golden State, Sacramento, and Phoenix, you think about the Southwest Division with Memphis, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, right? In that division. If you think about the Eastern Conference and the Atlantic Division, what other division had let me rephrase that, Tone. There was no other division that had every team in the postseason than the Central Division. Every last one of the teams either made the playoffs or was in the postseason. The Cavs, Detroit, Milwaukee, the Cavs, Detroit, Milwaukee, Chicago, and who am I leaving out? I'm leaving somebody out. Cleveland and Indiana. Indiana was in the NBA Finals. Indiana was in the NBA Finals. I think that was the toughest division in basketball. This season coming up, I do think that they're going to be just as tough. I think that that division is going to be. You can have 4 of those teams again, if not all of them. I don't think that
Chicago's the one.
Yeah, Chicago is the one.
Cleveland, Indiana, Milwaukee, Detroit. Like I would say, those 4 are locks for the playoffs.
I don't think Indiana's a lock for the playoffs. How you feel about
that? Well, sorry. Let me rephrase for the play-in.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Detroit at 4. I don't have them at 4. I got them at 5.
Okay, and I have them at 2. So Cleveland at 1, Detroit at 2, the Knicks at 3, the Atlanta Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I have them up 1 at 4. So that's why I say the Magic. That's where the Magic slide in at 5. So that's why I said it's not a big drop. Some people say it is from 3 to 5, but I don't think it is. But that's where I think they slide in. But Atlanta again, another team that did. Let me finish the thought on Detroit. We didn't even talk about Tobias Harris, Duncan Robinson, right? So with the loss of Tim Hardaway, I love Tim Hardaway. Don't get me wrong, but they needed him to knock down shots, and a lot of times he would. A lot of times he would try to do too much. I watched a lot of Detroit basketball last year, and he would look. And I think Duncan Robinson is that guy that they need, where he's gonna. I think he's gonna understand his role a little bit more. I love Tim Hardaway, junior and senior, but his dad isn't gonna be also sitting courtside every single game. Just saying. I think there's some of that pressure is gonna come off a little bit. Say what you want, anyways. I think Atlanta is another team that did a bunch of good stuff in the offseason. Yep. And I think they're going to be the 4 seed.
I got them at the 4 seed also, Tone. I think that health.
So to be clear, you have Cavs 1. Just to recap, you have the Knicks at 2.
Knicks 2.
Magic Orlando at 3. Mm-hmm. And then you have Atlanta at 4. Detroit at 5.
That's
so
you
just flip those.
Yes.
Okay.
Flip these 2. I think that this Atlanta team. I felt like last season it was probably Trey's best team that he'd been on from a talent standpoint. And I do think that they got better in terms of talent this year. We're adding Nickeil Alexander-Walker, trading for Porzingis, who seems to be good to go, right? Who seems to be good to go now. And he gives you that stretch 5. They ended up coming off Clinton Capella. He's a little long in the tooth at 30 years old. Not long in the tooth isn't the word I'm looking for. I think that his time in Atlanta is up. How about that? It's not that he's old. I just think that I think that time in Atlanta
It's
ran
time
its
to move
course.
on.
Yeah, I think that ran its course. I think Okongwu is going to be better. I think guys like Kobe Bupkin are going to add to the depth that they have. I'm a huge. I got into a big altercation with the guys on the panel a couple of days ago because we did this top 100 list. Tone, there weren't 50 guys who had better seasons than Dyson Daniels. There were not last season. And we ran down all of the guys, and I was thinking about the season that Dyson Daniels had, and I'm like, there were not 50 guys in the league last season that had a better season than Dyson Daniels, which is why I had him in the top 50. For that reason, we had a guy who was arguably the best perimeter defender in the game, was in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year, won the Most Improved award. His scoring went up almost double, and when Trae Young would come off the floor, they would move him to the lead guard, and it worked. Now you get Jalen Johnson, if he could stay healthy, which at one point, he was almost a 20 and 10 guy, one of the best transition players in the game. He's great in transition, Tone. If he can stay healthy, this team that Trae Young has, I'm going to say it, Tone, I wouldn't be surprised if they was in the East Finals. I would not be surprised if I saw Atlanta in the East Finals this year. Not at all.
If they aren't at least making it competitive and like fighting for them being in the East Finals, and that's why I have them with home court. I would be all I would say is someone must have gotten hurt. That's what I'll say. Mm-hmm. I'll say if they're not doing that, someone got hurt because they have so much talent, and they have something that most teams do not have that is absolutely needed in today's NBA,
which is
perimeter defenders.
Yes.
Just imagine you got. Let's say you're a very perimeter-oriented team, like most in the NBA, and you can throw out Dyson Daniels and Alexander Walker.
That's a big plus for you.
You have, or if you only have one dominant perimeter player, you can just rotate the two guys on him so they're always fresh. Like there's so many things that you can do. You know, now they give you different things. One's gonna be tipping a lot of passes and creating a little bit of chaos in Dyson Daniels. You know, and then Alexander Walker's just long, and I think he's gonna give people a lot of problems. Mm-hmm. I really like what they've done, and I don't think I've ever felt in the last 10 years this good about an Atlanta Hawks team. And I really think they're going to be. I don't think I have. I maybe
could get with that. No, I could get. If you think about it, Tone. Well, they win the East Finals in 15 when they ran into James, and when James was basically Thanos, they ran into him, and it just wasn't going to happen. I'm in the minority. They ain't had no business beating Philly in 21. None whatsoever. I think that Philadelphia went to pieces. Doc Rivers and that Philadelphia team with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, who was afraid to shoot the basketball, who didn't want to shoot the basketball, they had no business beating them. None whatsoever.
But you said they had no business, but then you just gave them the reasons why they did.
Yeah.
Because you had a Doc Rivers team with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Like,
well, so
there you go. There's the business. That's the business card. For someone who didn't have any business doing it, that's the business card to get in.
Yeah. They had no business beating them, but that's the reason why they lost. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
With that being said, Tone, if I look at this group and I look at what they have, and I look at where the Eastern Conference is, no Jason Tatum, no Tyrese Halliburton, right? No Jason Tatum, no Tyrese Halliburton. Indiana's, they lose their 5-man and they lose their point guard. I think the Eastern Conference is wide open. And this Atlanta team, in terms of talent, there aren't many teams above them that I can say are just more in terms of talent, more superior to them. So I would not be surprised, Tone, if I saw them in the East Finals.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
And you have them in there facing Cleveland.
I do.
And if they're the 4 seed and Cleveland's the 1 seed, that would be impossible.
Because they would have to see them.
Something else has to change.
Right. Something has to change. So if they end up having
3 or fall to the 6.
I don't have them in the East. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised.
I know you wouldn't be surprised. But if they make it, they've knocked out Cleveland.
Yes.
Based on your rankings, which would be
if that happens, Tone, I'm out on Cleveland. If that happens, I'm out.
I think everybody should be out on Cleveland if that happens. All right.
I'm out.
Those are the only 5 teams I think you can trust in the East.
Well, here's the thing, Tone, and you're going to kill me for this because you're a Kobe guy. When you got the best player in the conference, you go into the playoffs.
Really?
Yes, you 100%. You're a Kobe guy. and you can appreciate this. When you got the best player in the conference, we go into the playoffs. I'm good enough that I could get us to the playoffs. And I think Giannis, I think he's good enough to get us to the playoffs. Now it becomes a situation where we got matchups. All right, well, how do I like Milwaukee against Orlando? I don't. And the reason why I don't like them against Orlando is because I think that Orlando just has too much. I don't think that in terms of rotations, I don't think that in terms of offense, even though Orlando's offense wasn't great, I think it's going to get better as the season goes on. I do like this Milwaukee Bucks team. To win the whole thing, though, I think you're asking a lot. Off the strength that I'm still worried about that 2-guard spot. I'm not in love with Gary Trent. I'm not. I am not in love with
Gary Trent.
What now? I will tell you this though, Tone.
Are you saying you don't love Gary Trent as the starting 2?
I think that they should have went after Bradley Beal. I think that if they would have went after Bradley Beal, Tone, if Milwaukee would have bragged Bradley Beal, I got them going to the NBA Finals in the Eastern Conference. If they would have bagged Brad, because I don't think that there's many people who still talk about Bradley Beal as a good basketball player, and they forget how good he is. And I think he would have been perfect for them. He would have been cheap, a legit bucket getter. If he could stay healthy, I think he's the difference in Milwaukee. So, with that being said,
let me just jump in quickly and say I like at this point in their career on this roster playing the role that is needed. Yes, I added 5 caveats. I like Gary Trent better than Bradley Beal.
Sounds like you like him because he's younger. That's it, more than anything.
No, I like him because I know, maybe because I've seen a lot of Gary Trent here in Toronto, I know what he can bring to this team that would need what he brings, which is shooting, offense, right? Like I like what he does. Health, youth. I think at this stage in their careers on this team, I think Bradley Beal is still a better player, but I think that he thinks he's a better player than he is. And what he would do is play like he's a better player than he is, and that would disrupt the team. Whereas Gary Trent, I think, understands, listen, I've got Giannis and he's the guy. My job is to fill in the role that is needed. And so that's why I think he's better for the team than Beal would be, not a better player, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, but I'm thinking it the opposite way, because Milwaukee is going to need perimeter scoring. I think that he's going to try to play above himself because Giannis is the primary bucket getter, because Giannis is the primary playmaker, right? There is no Dame. So we're going to have to make up for that. So I think that he's going to play, or he's going to try to play like that, which is why there's a lot of people who won't talk about it. Tone, I really like this kid. I really like this kid, Kevin Porter Jr. He might be, for lack of a better term, Tone, he might be a jerk off, right? But with that being said, he is a baller. Every team that he plays for, he either starting or he's heavy in their rotation.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do that if you're not a player. And he's the starting lead guard. I watched him play. Who did I watch them play this year? Where they were up 20, and he was actually really good. They ended up giving up the lead. But I like this kid in the mid-range. I like him getting downhill. I like this kid as a passer. I like him on this Milwaukee Bucks team. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a downgrade from Dame. It's 100% a downgrade from Dame. But you got rotation guys like A.J. Johnson. Right? You got rotation guys like Bobby Portis still in the rotation. You got Miles Turner now on the crew. I think that helps tremendously. And I can't leave out the fact that you got a 30-12 guy and 6 assists on 60% shooting on your crew. And if I have that, you can lock us into we're going to make the playoffs. Barring any injuries with Giannis, we're going to make the playoffs just off the strength that we got him. Just off the strength that we got him, we're going to make the playoffs.
I struggle with guys who play for a lot of teams because statistically they look good.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. He's been on he's gets a lot of minutes. He's starting or getting a lot of minutes. He's a ball, all the good stuff. 4 teams in 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say he's a jerk off, does that part of the game hurt more than does that part of who he is, hurt more than his ability helps? Because if he was that good, you're not letting him go.
No, you're not. right? And
I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that is the only concern that I have is what
right.
comes with that talent. That's
Now, don't get me wrong, Tone. I think that there are other circumstances. I think there are other factors. I think in Los Angeles, I think it was a numbers game. I think that's why he ended up out of Los Angeles with the Clippers, because they had James Harden, because they had Dunn, because they had Norman Powell at the time. I think that was a numbers game that he ended up getting caught up in. But
yeah, he's not old enough to be on the Clippers. They have
no.
you've got to be like 27 and older.
You got to show ID when you walk into that door, and you're not old enough to get in here. No, you're not. You're not old enough to get in here. With that being said, Tone, I think that it could be a problem if it's not curbed. Let me rephrase that, Tone.
Okay.
It could be a problem if it's not curbed. If this attitude is detrimental to the crew and it's bringing us down, he could definitely wreck us and get him traded. But if it's curbed where he understands, one, what his role is, two, does it effectively and stays in line, I think that this Milwaukee team, I think he can add a lot of value to them that can be really good.
Kevin Porter Jr.,
Yep.
Gary Trent Jr., Kyle Kuzma, Giannis, Miles Turner, with Doc Rivers as coach.
Tone, you think that's a whack-ass five?
That does not guarantee that I have no trust. I'm putting them in the playoffs because when I look at them, I'm like, Chicago's out, Washington's out, Charlotte's out, Brooklyn's out. Like, there's 4 or 5 teams that are already out. So there's only so many spots. Like, someone's gonna get it. Milwaukee is my 8th seed. Mm-hmm. And it could get, and they better hope Giannis plays 80 games.
80 games.
80 games.
That might be. I'm not saying that's asking a lot.
If he plays under 70 games, they miss the playoffs.
He gave them 67 games last year, Tony.
They missed the playoffs.
The last time he played 80 games was in 17. That was the last time that he played 80 games.
If they plays less than 60. I said 70. I meant 65 games. They missed the playoffs.
He played 70 games in 24. He played 73 games. Before then, in 19, he played 70 games. So in the last 7 seasons, right? In the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in the last 6 seasons, he's played 70 games 1 time. In the last 7 seasons, twice he's played 70 games. So is Giannis going to have to put? So essentially, what you're telling me, Tone, is it ain't going to be a lot of nights off for Giannis. Not with this group.
Not if they want to be successful. Could you imagine sliding in Bobby Portis and giving Giannis the night off? That starting lineup. So that's gonna be nasty.
So I got KPJ at the 1. I got Gary Trent at the 2. I got Kuz at the 3.
Yep.
I got Kuz at the 3. I got Bobby Portis at the 4, and I got Miles Turner at the 5. Bleh.
Like, you just tell me, would you say that was a playoff team?
No, I would not say that.
No. So he needs to play. Okay.
It's not a playoff team. Them dudes is whack as hell. That's a whack ass 5.
So he's and I don't even know how I'm going to do this because I don't have them. They might end up being 6 because there's nobody else that's going to knock them down to 8 where they actually should be as a team. Because the 76ers, who finished 13th, you're like, these guys are 7. They're going from 13 to 7.
Well, wait a minute now, Tom. And mind you, I'm on the platform, but I am not getting close to the tracks to get on that train. I want to make sure we just like with Buffalo, same way I feel about Philly. I'm not getting close to the tracks when that train pulls up. Not getting close to it. However,
why? Because when you're talking about Philly, every rail of those tracks is the 3rd rail. That's why. And if you touch it, you're going to get cooked.
Oh, it's going to go, and it's going to go off the rails. How about that? It's 100% going to go off the rails. But in Philly's defense, they've added some things. And one of the things that they've added, which they didn't have last year, Joel Embiid is healthy. That matters. Maxey is going to be back. I think both McCain and VJ, I think they're going to battle for the 2-guard spot. I love everything about this kid, VJ Edgecombe. I love everything about him. I think he's their starting 2-guard day 1. I think that I think he's their starting 2-guard, right? So I think losing Yabusele, I think that was a big deal. I think having Kelly O back in the mix, I think that's going to be a big deal. But the key to this thing right here is the health of Joel Embiid, and just like with Buffalo, in your estimation, the health of Kawhi Leonard.
For those that don't know, when he says Buffalo, he's referring to the Clippers because I still call them the Buffalo Braves. Just in case there's anybody new.
Yeah. So we're clear with the health of Kawhi Leonard and the play of James Harden. Well, I feel the same way about Philly. It's the health of Joel Embiid, and it's how well Paul George is going to play. That's the difference. Which is why, if I'm standing on the platform in that train station, Tone, when that train pulls up, I'm as far away from that track as I can possibly be because I'm not getting on that train. I'm not. Nope. I am not getting on that train. I don't think so.
I have them as the 7th seed. I have them as the 7th seed.
I wouldn't be surprised if they missed the playoffs again.
I have them as the 7th seed, but by default, they're going to be the 7th seed.
Is it because the East is
the East is just
below them?
Because the East is not in the house. Oh my God, danger! That's why.
Because the teams below them.
The teams below them just there's nothing that they can do about it. Because even if they got, and some of them got significantly better, they still stink.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to stink. It's fine. But I just look, as long as Paul George is on this team, as long as Joel Embiid's on this team, who's going to play 55, 60 games, right? You're putting your trust. I love VJ, but you're putting your trust in a rookie. Like that's not going to happen, right? They re-signed. No offense, Kyle Lowry. Like retire already. Get your jersey up in the rafters in Toronto and go enjoy your life. There's nothing I like about Philly to say, oh wow, they're going to take a really big jump. And you know what? They are. They're moving from the 13th seed to the 7th. So they're going to be just bad enough not to get another high draft pick, or just good enough, whatever you want to call it. Like they're actually making themselves their luck worse by being somewhat okay. So that leaves. Well, let's just go the number 8 seed. At least by this is the Miami. Sorry, you didn't tell me. Where do you have the Bucks and the Sixers? So you got the Sixers.
I got Milwaukee right there, Tone, at 6.
Okay.
Philly, I don't love them at 7.
You got Philly at 11, don't you? You 7-11.
To be honest with you, Tone, I wouldn't be surprised that they missed the playoffs again. I would not be surprised if they missed the playoffs. But we'll keep them. We'll keep them there for right now.
Okay.
Just like we just got finished talking about Atlanta, which I failed to mention. Tone, the reason why I watched the Atlanta Hawks is because of Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels. They're the 2 reasons why I watched them. The Miami Heat, Bam and Khalil Ware. That's the only reason why I watched the Miami Heat. I don't watch them for no other reason. So I do think that they're a playoff team. And I think that they're a lead guard away from really challenging in the Eastern Conference. Like a legit lead guard away from really challenging in the Eastern Conference. I think this kid, Khalil Ware, I think he's a franchise big. I do. I think he's that good. I think he's going to be an all-star one day. He may even be an all-league defender at some point. I think he's that good. But I think that Davion Mitchell, as much as I've talked about Davion Mitchell, I don't think he's it's kind of like how I felt about Kyle Lowry when he was in Toronto. Like, you're not winning it with Kyle Lowry as your starting league guard. That's, of course, until Kawhi Leonard shows up. And then, okay, well, yes, you are winning it with him as your starting league guard. I don't think that I'm not sure if you're making the playoffs, because I was big on Davion Mitchell coming into the draft. I thought that he could be a starting league guard on a playoff team, lead a team to the playoffs. I'm not sure that he can be that. But enter Bam, enter Khalil Ware, maybe he could be.
I'm gonna make a little change on the fly here. I'm gonna bump Milwaukee from 8 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna drop the Sixers from 7 to 9.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna leave Miami at 8. I originally had was, and I'll get to it in a second, but I originally had the Sixers at 7, Milwaukee at 6. The Sixers at 7, Milwaukee at 8, and Miami at 9.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm making a change on the fly. So I'm gonna go Milwaukee at 7, Sixers at 8, the Heat at 9, and then I'm gonna give them a bunch of praise. I actually like Miami's regular season roster. I like Davion Mitchell. I like Wiggins. I like Bam. I like Hero. I love the addition of Norman Powell. I actually think that they're going to be a good regular season team.
Mhm.
A good. So like, I wouldn't be surprised if Miami's the 6 and if Miami's the 7 and Milwaukee's the 8 and the Sixers drop to 9. Like that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Interesting.
Because like you said, they're not challenging for an NBA championship. They're not, they're not doing that. They're not good enough to do that. But I think when you have those types of players, like veteran guys like that, and like you said, and some young guys in I think they're a good regular season team. I think they're going to surprise some people, go on some runs, but they're also going to have some,
What's a good regular season team in your estimation, Tony? Over under 48 wins.
47, 48.
Okay. Because in the East, they win. If they win 47 games in the East, that's a 5 seed. That's
why I said I wouldn't be surprised if they jump up. I don't think they're surpassing any of those first 5 that we have. Right. So I think their ceiling is the 6th seed, but I'm saving the 6th seed. That's why you're like, well, how come you're always only talking about 7, 8, 9? And it's because I'm saving the 6th seed for this next team.
Which is
the Indiana Pacers just went to the damn NBA final. And I'm telling you, as important as Halliburton was in the playoffs and the regular season, this team is still very talented, even without Halliburton and Miles Turner. This team is still very, very, very talented, and they know how to win. And they have, of the guys above them, probably the best coach of the bunch. Maybe Spo. I'm putting them at 6. I'm putting them at the 6th seed just because I think people underestimate how good teams are, even when they're missing their players.
I think that they are exactly where they're going to be. How you felt about Philly last year, I feel this way about Indiana. Not to that extent, though. I don't think that they're going to be nearly as good as they were last year. They were the best team in the NBA from January till the NBA Finals. They were the best team in the NBA. When you have their offense, which was predicated around speed, around transition, which enhanced guys like Pascal Siakam, which enhanced guys like Neesmith, which enhanced guys like Obi Toppin. Well, that worked because you had Tyrese Halliburton at the helm. When you got a guy like that speeds up the offense, the distributor that he is, that makes life way less difficult for them guys. Now, when you take those two guys, when you take that guy out of the offense, and you got a guy like Miles Turner who can stretch the defense, Tony, I think that he's one of 5 big men that was shooting almost 40% at the long ball line. When you take that out of the rotation, so now these guys got to make up for that. And who is playing behind Miles Turner? So Isaiah Jackson. In addition to Isaiah Jackson, Bryant. Like, these are the guys that are playing backup. And then you got Obi Toppin, who's going to slide over to the 3 and play the 4. And a lot of his offense was predicated on playing fast, quick hits. TJ McConnell is now going to be more of the offensive engine. And I think that he's a damn good backup lead guard. Tony, you're a football guy. You know what a backup quarterback looks like. And you know how good a backup quarterback is in certain situations. I think TJ McConnell is a backup lead guard. That's it.
And you're not wrong. But I think this team, like I said, they have talent up and down. They're going to have to play a lot of small ball. And in today's NBA, that's okay. Like, you're going to see Toppin and Pascal being the front court at times.
Yikes. Which we saw that this season that just passed.
You're not like it's not crazy in today's NBA. And I think you're just, they're going to play fast, which that suits them too by having those guys playing the 4 or the 5, which everyone's like, you're nuts. But no, that's kind of today's NBA. They're not going to be defensive stoppers. They're going to outscore you. And again, in the regular season, when their shots are falling, they're going to be just fine. Yeah, and they're going to have games where they get smoked because they're not. So I have them. I just have I had a feeling last year, like there's people are going to call me crazy. And, you got no rhyme or reason. You're right. Just like last year, I said Sixers are going to stink, and I was right. I just feel like they're going to be the 6th seed, and they're going to surprise some people.
That could happen. Yeah, that could definitely. You can have a feeling about a team. You can have a feeling about a guy that, this guy's going to be much better this year than he was last year. You could definitely have that feeling. Just like, Tone, I got a feeling that this next team that we're going to talk about, I think Toronto's going to be a lot better than you think, Tone. I do. I think they're going to be a lot better than you think. So, number one, they get their point guard back. That's number one in Quigley. And I think that he's going to help tremendously. That's number one. Number two, you add Brandon Ingram to a team that was already struggling offensively to get buckets. Well, you add Brandon Ingram to that, and I think that helps even more. I think Grady Dick takes a leap. I think that Grady Dick is a better shooter this year. I think that offense is going to be more conducive to his game, and I think that that's going to really help him, which is going to really help Toronto. I also think that RJ Barrett, with RJ Barrett being the bucket getter that he is, and if he could stay healthy also, I think that offense is not going to be the issue. I've always felt like this, and I still stand on it because I'm with Mrs. Fluent to this day. If she's listening, I'm with Mrs. Fluent. 2 years ago, the Toronto Raptors should have traded up in the draft to get Zach Edey. That was your guy.
Yeah.
And I was with Mrs. Fluent with that. Well, she was 100% right. Zach Edey was your guy. Whatever you had to give up to get him, yes, that's it. And I still don't think that they've shored up the 5 spot yet. I'm not a fan of Jakob Poeltl. I'm not. I've never been a fan of his tone. And I don't think he sucks. What it is, and you can appreciate this in football, Tone, you've seen guys in football used in roles where when they're used in a lesser role, how much better they are. But when you use them in a role where, like David Montgomery when he was in Chicago, how much better is David Montgomery when he's playing behind Travis, when he's playing behind a better running back? How much better is he?
Yeah, no. I hear what you're saying. I fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Okay, or as George Bush would say, fool me one time. I said, fool me 2 times. If you fool me, you can't fool me again. Okay, there you go. That's my best George Bush impersonation for it. And most of the people are like, who the hell's George Bush? I'm not buying it. I don't like Ingram on this team and how he fits with what they're saying or think they want to be. I don't think they're going to be healthy. I'm not a fan of RJ Barrett as you are. I'm nowhere near a fan of Scotty as Penn is. Right, he's not leading a team to an NBA championship like he thinks. He's just not. When your centers are Jakob Poeltl and Sandro right? Like, I'm sorry, no. Mom, yeah, well, that's, you got to call him that because no one can say his last name. I don't like anything about the makeup of this team, top to bottom, and yet, after that all being said, they probably are the 10th seed because who else is going to be the 10th seed? Like, they're literally the 10th seed because who else is going to be the 10th seed
by default?
Let me ask you. Washington?
I think Washington's going to be better than what you think, Tone, but I ain't going far as
no, I don't think they're going to be horrible. Charlotte?
Definitely not.
Brooklyn
might be the worst team in the Eastern Conference next season.
Chicago?
I think Chicago could be the 10 seed. Yes.
Okay, well, there you go. It's between Chicago and Toronto.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Tone, this sounds eerily similar. Weren't we here like 2 years ago with Toronto and Chicago again?
We're always here with Chicago and Toronto.
Oh my goodness, man! I feel like we're in the twilight zone with these two teams, yo. Like,
they're more concerned with who's going to replace Masai Ujiri than they are who's going to play on the team. Oh, we should promote Bobby Webster. Why? He was your GM who did nothing. Could you imagine sitting at a job? And doing nothing because your boss did all the work and you just sat there next to him and smiled, and you get promoted to his job?
Oh, well, I'm obviously not going to be there long.
Doing nothing?
Yeah. Well, what's going to end up happening, Tone, is that I'm going to need to do more. And the reason why is because once I get that job, I don't know what I'm doing. No, if he's smart, when he gets that job, because he's the leading candidate, although they did interview Dwayne Casey, if he gets the job, if he's smart, he hires a brilliant GM and lets the GM do his job. And he just smiles and shakes babies and kisses hands. That's how I got here in the first place, right? I mean, I got here.
You were just a figurehead anyways.
That's what that's how I got here. So I might as well keep riding that train. Dwayne Casey. So I was the coach of the year, and y'all fired me, and now y'all want me to come back and run things?
Well, because he was an executive in Detroit, and Detroit's doing pretty good.
And I was here, and I was doing really good, and y'all ran me out of time. Why the hell I want to come back here and help y'all?
Let me tell you, if your city recycled as well as the NBA recycles executives, like we'd live in a carbon-free environment, like globally no pollution society, but because they do a great job of recycling trash.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I said it. Trash. Oh, man, we should probably do the West.
What's going on
next? Next week. Next week we should do.
Yes, I'm down with that.
I have no idea what this is either, so I'm pulling it up.
What we got?
No idea what this is. This is a good one. So, despite mainly being a career sixth man, Jamal Crawford has more career points than Magic, Scottie, Anthony Davis, Tracy McGrady, Paul George. As many 50-point games as Shaq, Bird, Olajuwon, Jokic, Carmelo. More three-pointers made than Kobe, Durant, Dirk. I don't know why the hell they have JJ Redick's face there. And mine's being blocked. Who's in behind?
That's
Peja. Okay. Oh, Peja. What up, Peja? And as many game winners as Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Dwayne Wade, CP, and then I don't see who the other one is there.
Paul Pierce.
And Paul Pierce. And all of that combined, it means nothing. It means nothing. It means nothing. Why would they waste their time and make this stupid graphic? Because that's all they did. That's all they did. They just wasted
Jamal Crawford. Jamal Crawford got more career points than Magic, Scottie Pippen, Anthony Davis, Tracy McGrady, and Paul George. He got more career points than them. Could we have a conversation about Jamal Crawford being a better scorer than Tracy McGrady?
No.
No, we cannot. Can we have a conversation about him being a better scorer than Paul George?
No.
No, we can't. Can we have a conversation about him being a better player than Magic?
I'm not even going to comment.
Can we have a conversation about him being a better player than Scottie Pippen?
Scottie Pippen, maybe.
He's got more 50-point games than Shaq, Bird, Olajuwon, Joker, and Carmelo Anthony. Can we have a conversation about Jamal Crawford and Carmelo Anthony as bucket getters? Can we do that?
No.
Can we have a conversation about him and Bird as bucket getters?
No.
No, we cannot do that. Nope. So he's got more game winners than Tim Duncan, Garnett, Wade, and Paul Pierce. Is he more clutch than those guys?
No.
Is he a better long ball shooter than KD? He's got more threes than him.
No.
He's got more long balls. Is he a better long ball shooter than Dirk? He's got more threes than Dirk.
No.
Yikes.
He ain't even a better three-ball shooter than JJ and Peja.
Wow. Which means, to me, what does this mean, Tone?
It means that he played 20 years and he averaged 14 points a game, and he was pretty damn good. And that's about it. And
what
that's
if I told you, Tone?
These totals piss me off.
What if I told you, Tone? Jamal Crawford's going to the Hall of Fame. Can you handle it, Tone? Can you handle it?
You know what I would say?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
That's what I would say. That's the damn problem.
Jamal Crawford is going to the Hall of Fame, though. One of the best rotation players in NBA history. I think he won 6th Man of the Year 3 times. Played 20 years. In addition to him playing 20 years, more career points than these guys, more 50-point games than these guys, more threes made than these guys, more game winners than these guys. Yeah.
But go look how many games these guys played. This is why I tell you, like, you have to look. Like, Magic played 13. I know
12 years.
15.
12 years.
Well, yeah, but like, yeah, right. It's
Tone, I'm not forget past 1991. Magic retired in 1991. Tone, he did.
But 13 seasons. Like, the guy played 7 more years. Of course. Right, like Tracy McGrady played how many actual games? Like, how many games did they play? Like, it's just that's what drives me nuts is this totals without context, and it drives me insane. And you're right. They're probably, and look, I'm not knocking Jamal Crawford. I think he's one of the best, if not the best, six man ever. I think he's a heck of a ball player. I think he's people don't give him enough credit for what a phenomenal, maybe some do, what a phenomenal ball handler he is. Like, there's so many wonderful. I want Jamal Crawford on any team I'm ever watching, coaching, playing, cheering for, coming off the bench as a six man. Want him every time. It doesn't mean he's on the level of all-time greats. It doesn't. It doesn't, and it drives me nuts because that's where he's going to end up, and people are going to put him in these conversations. No.
No.
And then they're going to say, "Oh, you're just a hater. You don't like." No, I don't. I actually really, really like Jamal as a player. I don't know him personally, but I love him as a player. But am I? You know what? Let me ask you, because I'm always the one that seems to be the one that hates everybody. Am I crazy?
No, I'm not in this particular situation. No,
not in this.
Not in this particular situation.
Just not this particular.
Sometimes you're nuts, Tone, but in this particular situation, no, you're not nuts. Mm-mm.
I need to. You know, it's. How can I say this? You got me all flustered, so I'm gonna take a quick, just 1 second, let me take a quick drink of water.
All my fellas. All my fellas. All my fellas.
Okay. Whew. All right. I feel better now. There we go.
You good now, Tone?
Good. I'm good. I needed to, every once in a while.
Hey, you know what? I've got this water.
I need to have a drink of that water. I'm not a hater. I love Jamal Crawford. I just don't think we should be putting him in that conversation. All right.
No.
I want to do this one next. Kendrick Perkins listed off the point guards that he would take over Chris Paul all time, and the list goes like this: Magic, Curry, Oscar, Stockton, Zeke, Isaiah Thomas for those that don't know, Gary Payton, Russell Westbrook, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, Bob Cousy. That would put CP3 at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, out the top 10. Yeah, out of the top 10. Mm-hmm.
Do you know where I have CP3?
Out of the top 10.
Well, nowhere, because he's still active. But if I were to put him here, I don't think that I wouldn't have him at 11 too.
Well,
somebody asked me a couple of years ago, and I made a video about it. Someone did ask me a couple of years ago. Maybe I can find it and show it to you. And I had him, and I said if I have to, because I don't want to. And at the time, it was before Phoenix, so he had not gone to even an NBA final yet. And I had him, I think, at 12, because I was asked like if you had to do it as of today, and I had him at 12.
Right.
I don't see how he passes any of those guys.
So this is where I had him at, because I just made this list for Mars, and this is where I have him at. I'll show it to you right now, Tone, because hold on, let me get this back for you. Hang on for a second. Yep, I'll get this up for you right now, because I did Mars had this. He had a top 10 point guards of all time list, right? He had a top 10 point guards of all time. And this is where I have him.
All right, let's see. So Magic, Steph, Zeke, West. So you have see, West wasn't even on that list. Because I don't really have him as a point guard. But okay, West, Stockton, Oscar, Kidd, Nash, Paul, Payton. Hold on. I don't see him on there.
You had him at 10.
Oh, you had him at 9. Okay, you had him at 9.
That's where I have him at.
Why are you disrespecting Bob Cousy?
I had Bob, and it was Jerry. The problem was Jerry West. That's where the issue was, because because you know how I feel about Jerry West and Allen Iverson and
Right.
James Harden. You know how I feel about those guys. And I originally didn't have Jerry West on the list. I had him in the same category with James Harden and Allen Iverson and Jerry West, James Harden, Allen Iverson. I wanted to put Curry in that list too, but which kind of crazy because I also found out another stat today, Tone. Would it surprise you? Because you had brought this up to me not too long ago about Steph Curry being a 2-guard. Tone, would it surprise you that he played off the ball more this year than Anthony Edwards?
No.
When I heard that, when I saw that, I was like, wait a minute. An actual 2-guard, one of the better 2-guards in the game, this guy played off the ball more than him. Wow,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
It doesn't surprise me at all. That's what I keep telling you guys is if you look at his statistics, he does more things. Do you know that running without the ball, he's run more miles without the ball in his hand than like any other player?
And this is what I'm talking about. This is why I want to have a conversation
Any other
about
guard,
this guy.
any other guard.
Yes, and any other point, definitely any other point guard, right? Definitely. This is why I want to have a conversation about this guy, Tone, him and Magic. For that reason, right there, I want to have a conversation about it. When I heard that today, I was like, "What? That's incredible." But when I look at that, when I looked at that list, right? When I looked at that list, my original thought was, well, y'all gonna hate me because I got him at like 9, right? And he was at 8 before I had to add Jerry West. Because I had to add Jerry West because Jerry West is considered a point guard, but I had him at 9. That's where I got him at. So when I think about all the rest of these guys, Magic, Curry, Isaiah, Jerry West, John Stockton, Oscar, Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, I'm taking all of them dudes before I take Chris Paul, all of them.
So this was now you can tell by the long hair, okay, or you maybe not be able to see. This was back in the day when I had the man bun that you liked.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I had. So this was years ago. So when you look at the list, and keep in mind, I at the time and still today, I said I don't rank active players. So if all the active players that you see on here are knocked down a little bit because I don't want to rank them, but I was asked if you had to today, right? So this was a few years back. This was before Steph and the Warriors won their last one. Okay.
Yeah,
because you're going to see one and be like, "What?" Because you know how I have Steph at 2 now. If I were to do that, okay,
right.
So this is the list.
Years ago, you had Magic. That would be Oscar, Steph, Isaiah, Stockton, Nash, Cousy, Jason Kidd, Walt Frazier, Allen Iverson, Peyton. And because I had to add Jerry West. Like Russell Westbrook is not on that list, by the way, if you notice. Russell Westbrook ain't on that list because Walt Frazier would have been on that list. And Bob Cousy would have been on that list too because Jerry West is off.
Right. And
oh, I lost him, but he'll be back in a second. Give him a second. Tell him to be right back. No big deal. We have the reason why I had the reason why I had Walt Frazier there. I mean, because
what just happened?
I don't know. We got him back. He's right back.
Okay, is the stream still going? That was the weirdest thing ever that just happened.
We still hot. Yeah, we still
That's
hot.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so a few years ago, sorry, you were. I don't know what the hell just happened.
I was just talking about
Westbrook and Paul at 12 because I didn't even put Jerry West in because I struggle with him and his position, but West would be in there, and that would mean and then it would be West, and so Westbrook, Curry, and Paul, who are the 3 active guys on that list, all lower than where I normally would have them because I don't rank active players. So again, the list was made because someone said you have to put them in. Where do you put them? And I said, okay, if their careers ended today, because I can't assume what they're gonna do, here's where they slot in. And that's why those 3 guys are kind of where they are. I have Westbrook higher now. I have Curry, again, if they were to end their careers now, I have Curry higher. I have Westbrook higher. I feel like I still have Paul just outside of the top 10 at like that 11-12 number.
And I mean, I think that Chris Paul is anywhere, if you got him kind of like with Bryant, when I had Bryant anywhere between 7 and 11. I got Chris Paul the same way. If you got Chris Paul anywhere between 8 in like
And
11. I'm comfortable with that. To be honest with you, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Nope, not at all.
I think that's where he is. And again, but it also goes to who's a point guard, who's not a point guard. If you're going by, listen, these guys are all listed as point guards, right? Iverson, West, Curry, et cetera, then it actually hurts him. It bumps him down the list because all of those guys are better than he is.
I'm good with that. Yep. Good with that.
Right, so Perk isn't that crazy. Even though a lot of people think he is. I'm saving the best for last. Oh yeah, let's do this one because this one's interesting. This one's interesting as as a Laker fan, as everybody loves
LeBron James.
JJ Redick wants Bronny James to study the game of Davion Mitchell and TJ McConnell on every single possession. They're in the game, whether that's offensively or defensively. They're able to impact it with how hard they play. So he wants Bronny James to really focus on being a role player,
which he is, and they all are. But to your point, Tone, Davion Mitchell and TJ McConnell, and I think I said this to you earlier today. I was more on the Pat Beverly, like maybe a lesser version of Avery Bradley. That's the space that I see him in, like a point of attack defender, a guy who's not in the way as much, but can knock down open shots, but can affect the game on different levels. I just think that when he got thrust into the game and everybody was on James's case, stop this. If you care about this kid, please. I'm like, okay, first and foremost, this kid is a pro. Let's be clear about that.
If you're a loving father, please put him back in college.
Like, give me a break, man. Like, stop, right? This kid is 100% a pro. I'm never going to argue that point. I 100% believe that he's a pro. It's just, it's going to take a little bit longer. And I think that he's in that mode.
All we've ever said, at least us, all we've ever said, sorry to interrupt, but all we've ever said was he needs more time.
That was it.
All we've ever said.
That was it. You hear these other people that, he can't play. He can't play now. That's correct. He's not ready now. That's 100% correct. He will be with the right amount of tutelage. With the right 100% he's going to be. Now, the question is how much is he going to be able to take in, and how much is he going to be able to put out? Well, if I look at what Bronny James, just in a year, he played in the G League last year. He was actually really good in the G League last year.
He was.
If he can, and I think he's going to play in the G League again this year.
Yep.
If he plays in the G League again, he's going to get better. Tone, I see the athleticism. I see the strength. Right? I see his body filling out, because remember who we were talking about. We were talking about a kid who wasn't really ready to be thrown into that space. He wasn't. Right. But I see the athleticism. I see how much stronger he's gotten. That's gonna improve next year too. Well, chill. We shouldn't just assume that he's gonna get better. Why not?
Why not?
He has gotten better.
Players get better. They don't hit their. What drives me nuts is when people expect a player to be at 18, 19, 20 years old to be at their peak. Right, like I had this conversation on Sunday. They were talking about like, well, Kobe was the number 2 to Shaq. Yeah, Kobe was what, 20, and we were talking about prime Shaq. How do you expect him to be better than a prime Shaq? Nobody was better than a prime Shaq.
Nobody. He was the best player in the league.
So how does that knock him because he wasn't better than the best player in the world? And so I think that to assume that Bronny, who comes from some pretty damn good genes,
yes, he does,
isn't going to get better, who has the Laker organization, who has his dad,
LeBron James,
right, who has access to the greatest players in the history of the world at his fingertips to help him, how to expect him not to get better? Like, you would have to try not to get better. It would be harder for him not to get better than it is for him to get better.
Because people won't allow him not to get better. His father won't allow him. That's what I'm saying.
He doesn't have that option.
That's a fact. The Lakers won't allow him. The Lakers won't allow him not to get better. And because of that, and you and I have had this conversation, Tone, if he stayed in school I think we're going into year 3. So we're going into his junior year this season coming up in the 25-26 season. If we're going into his junior year, Tone, I can almost, from what I saw last year in the G League, from what I saw last year, just him in the G League, and from what I saw just over the summer, I can guarantee you, had he stayed in school, we're looking at him being in the conversation for being Big Ten Player of the Year. He's a first-team All Big Ten performer, and we're talking about him being a first-round pick in the 26th draft.
Yeah,
that's 100%. Going on.
100%.
That's 100% going on. That we're talking about him being a first-round pick in the 2026 NBA draft. But because he got thrust into playing in the NBA right now, and clearly not being ready, and we all know what the agenda was.
Of course.
Let's be honest. We all know what the agenda was. And to be honest with you, I'm not mad at all. And the reason why I'm not mad, Tone, because if I'm in a position where I play in the NBA and I can get my son on the team, by show of hands, how many of y'all not doing that? Because I can tell you I'm doing it.
Listen, why do you think I want a job as a GM? You know who I'm drafting first. Fluent Chill. Get up here, baby. 100%.
I'm 100% doing that. Yes.
There's a reason why I Tone.
There's a reason why I Tone, and there's a reason why I Tone with the Knicks as the offensive coordinator. There's a reason why Jalen Brunson is leading them in scoring, not just because he's the best scorer on the team.
But who's the offensive? Give my boy the ball and get out the way.
There you go. That's absolutely the agenda. 100%. That's the agenda.
100%.
So I would do it too. Yes.
Luka looks jacked. Beautiful. Does this mean anything? Does it not mean anything?
When I first saw this, Tone, my first initial thought, I thought it was Photoshop.
It might be.
I first saw it. When I first saw this, because
you don't know that it isn't in today's world. You don't know that it isn't, but continue.
I don't. But when I first saw this, I'm thinking, this guy looks fantastic. And then I saw other pictures of him, like he's out. He was at a Yankee game. He clearly has slimmed. He looked like he's lost about 20 pounds since the end of the season in April. He's looked like he's lost easily 20 pounds, right? The problem that I'm having, Tone, is like, why are we having this discussion? And what I mean when I say that is, Luka, we're in year, what are we in? We're going into year 8 with him now. I think we're going into year, because he showed up in 18. Yep. We're going into year 8. Tone, you being one of the better players in the game, why are we talking about your conditioning? Why do we have to get to this
why?
point?
You know why.
I don't. That's the problem.
Because Dallas said we're trading him. At least some said we're trading him because he's fat and out of shape, and
which he was, by the way,
has no work ethic.
Which he really. I mean, we saw Michael Finley grab the beer at his hand, because Luka did all Luka wanted to do. It was obvious that Luka wasn't taking care of his body.
All he wanted to do was what? Party and bullshit.
Yes,
and
yes. Drink beer. He wasn't taking care of his body, which would explain why he was breaking down. And Nico Harrison said, I can't see myself I can't see us putting a check in front of him with our name on it that has $350 million on it and paying him that over the next 5 years. But then he goes and he gets on this Laker team. And I mean, these guys hear the chatter. They do. They hear the chatter. They hear the noise that, yo, you fat, you out of shape, you don't care about.
You're fat, you out of shape, basketball. Your girl's a hoe. The kid
you
ain't
don't care about this stuff. You don't. So with that being said, Tone, I think he heard the noise, and I think he took it upon himself, one, to get himself in better shape. And I think I think not the World Championships, but the Euro Cup is this summer. And the Euro Cup is this summer. So we had to get in shape for that, which I think is going to help him. No doubt about that. Now, I will say this, Tone, because I had him, I want to say about a month ago, we were having a conversation about the league MVP. And my original thought was, I think Luka could win the league MVP. But I'm thinking to myself, all right, if that's true, that means that the Lakers are going to be a top 3 seed. Thinking about what the Western Conference is this season coming up, a top 3 seed is probably going to have to win between 55 close to 60 games. I don't think the Lakers are going to be that good. But
interesting.
But I also think that Luka, I think I'm gonna get, with the way he's looked and the shape that he's in, Tone, I think I'm gonna get something like 29, 9, and 8 on much better efficiency. I think that I'm gonna get that on much better efficiency. I think I'm gonna get a much more polished guy this year. I think I'm gonna get a much more determined guy this year, right? So if that's the case,
This is a
worked
contract
out.
year, right?
This summer. This summer, he's got a choice whether
big extension this summer, right?
he could either sign the extension this summer or
Big
next year, because he's got a player op after next season. And I don't think that the Lakers are feeling that at all. You know how I feel about these guys, about your stars, Tone, with these player ops. I'm not trying to hear that. If this guy doesn't sign this extension this summer,
He's out.
if he doesn't sign this extension, and I'm out, I can tell you, I'm looking at this guy and I'm out too. I'm telling you that right now. If he doesn't sign this extension and we go into the season without him signing this extension, I'm out, Tone. I'm definitely moving him because I'm not getting left hole in the bag because I'm going to lose James.
Tone. You think if he doesn't sign an extension this summer, you're going to trade Luka for the second time in 2 years?
Yes, I'm out, Tone, because I'm not. This is what's not. This is what LeBron James wrote the blueprint on it for me, Tone. If we want to get any example, it's James. James wrote the blueprint. If I don't get this guy to sign an extension this summer, I'm not waiting until next year after he wins the league MVP or he has a great season and they decide, well, maybe I want to sign, maybe I don't. I'm not waiting for that. I'm not. You're not leaving me holding the bag because I'm going to lose James in the next year, 2 years tops. I'm going to lose him. So we might as well start over. I'm not trying to hear it, Tone. I'm out. If he doesn't sign an extension this summer, trade him.
Wow. Okay, that was a surprise.
Yep.
Here's the thing. I always see guys and the, on the cover of Men's Health every offseason there's somebody that looked out of shape the year before, and there they are, they pop up, and everyone's like, oh wow, look how jacked blah blah looks, look how good blah blah looks, and then the season starts and they don't look any different. They don't. And now I've seen Luka around and same thing. Oh yeah, he looked really blah 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 blah. Okay. I think it's much ado about nothing. I think he's gonna be the same player. I think he's gonna great player. I think he's gonna do the exact same things. I don't think it makes a difference in his game at all. Really, I don't think it makes a difference. I've been fooled again too many times by people on Men's Health. I'm not falling for it, but I think Luka's, but all the things you said are still true. I still think he comes in. I still think he's in the MVP conversation. I still think he averages those numbers. I still think, he is better in the Lakers system than he was coming halfway through the season last year. I think he plays better with LeBron. I think he looks more comfortable with Austin Reeves. Because that's the kind of player he is. I don't think the 30 pounds he lost or 20 pounds, whatever the hell he lost, I don't think it makes a difference. I really don't. Is he all of a sudden going to try harder on defense because he's 20 pounds lighter?
Well, wait a minute though, Tony.
Is he going to try harder? No.
Yes, Tony's got
try.
Yes, because he's got more energy. Yes, he's got.
How do you know he has more energy?
Because I'm in better shape. Because now I can compete on the defensive end. A lot of times you
working out so much and not eating enough of the foods he likes, and he's more tired.
Well, no, Tony, that's the thing. Because I'm in better shape, because I've changed my diet. Now I've gotten more energy. Right?
How do you know he changed his diet?
Because look at
no. Don't say look at him. How do you know he changed his diet?
Because of what he looks like right now. That's
I've gone from 270 to 220 to 270 eating the exact same foods and looking completely.
You did not do that. Okay,
100%.
Tone, you go from 270 to 220.
That's what I've done over the last 10 years. Yes.
And here's the difference, Tone. With eating that, you probably in somewhere you changed your diet. You wasn't just 270 and then dropped to 220 and then went right back up to 270. No, along the line there was
But what I'm saying is without changing my diet, it was I was working out more, I was exercising, I was more active. That's it. My food, I still ate pizza, I still had spaghetti, I still had chocolate cake, I still had a steak, I still everything else was.
Well, I also think that in those 10 years, Tony.
I said, hold on. For those, just to clarify, I said I didn't say in 10 years it went from one to the other. I said in 10 years it went up and down.
Yeah.
So I went 220, 270, 230, 260, 220, 270. Trust me.
I definitely think that he's changed his diet. I think that it's stuff like sugar. I think that it's stuff like carbs. I think that he might have cut down on that sort of stuff. Just looking at him, it's obvious that he's changed his diet. It's obvious that he's leaner. And that says nothing more to me when you look like that, right? That says nothing more to me when you look like that, that you're eating differently.
Okay.
You're not, you don't look like that from just working out. No.
Fine.
You're definitely doing something different.
Okay.
In terms
So,
of your diet.
so let's say he is eating different. Does that
Yeah.
mean he's going to continue to do that throughout the season?
And that's the question.
Because for 8 years, he's never done it.
Yeah. That's
Why
the
is this year
question,
different?
Tone. Well, the reason why this year is different is because, one, we are in a contract year. Don't leave that part out. And two, he has to silence all the doubters. Luka, you fat, you out of shape, you don't really care about this, you don't care about defense, you just show up. In addition to you showing up, you kill your team on defense. And a lot of times when you kill your team on defense, you guys lose games. That's because of you. And it's because of your conditioning. You ain't dedicated to this. You ain't serious about winning. And if you were serious about winning, you take care of your body more. You get in better shape. He hears this stuff and he's like, well, wait a minute. Like, these guys really think that I'm fat, I'm out of shape, I don't care about this. I'm just one of these Euros that just shows up and I drink beer and I smoke hookah and I don't really care about none of this stuff. Well, let's get to the bottom of that.
In the world?
Joker already showed us. I mean, Joker dropped 35 pounds. And
so apparently in the article, which you're right, I didn't read the article. It said Luka is on a low sugar diet, gluten-free diet, 225 grams of protein a day. Okay, that's awesome. So that's how he lost his weight. That's amazing.
Yep.
Is he going to continue it? That's the only question. Like, will we just see it over the halfway through the season? He's going to be right back to where he was. I hope not. I
think that we will, though, Tom. And here's why I think that we will. I think that we will because whomever he's been dealing with that got him to this space, well, I'm going to stay with him. And if Luka's smart, Luka will have these people around him on a regular because this is what I look like. And especially if this translates onto the floor. So if I'm on the floor and I feel as good as I do, and it shows up in my game, well, I got to keep these people around off the strength that they're going to keep me fed right. They're going to keep me on this diet. And I'm going to keep it moving. Tone, I'll give you an example. In the summer of 1994, no soda, no red meat. I didn't eat any of that. I was in some of the best shape of my life. The best shape of my life. I get back to school, I'm back in McDonald's. Yep, I'm right back at McDonald's. I'm eating cafeteria food, right? So I didn't have what I had when I was home with my grandmother, right? I didn't have that when I was home, that kind of food when I was with my mother. Had I had that, it would have been different, completely different.
And that's where I say I'm curious to see if you can keep it up. Much like you, have a similar story where one day, I've joked about the story when I was in Greece, and I decided I'm staying here. I'm going to live here, and I was on the beach, and where I was like a secluded house on the beach, and I would just walk into town and go to the market and get fresh fish that was just caught that day, and I would barbecue it and eat veggies and I looked great, shredded. And then I came back to Toronto, and I had all my friends and family and stuff doing all the stuff we normally did. Because it's so it's easier in the off season to train, to eat right, to have your personal chef and your cook do all that stuff for you. You can't do that on the road.
It's going to be hard to do that.
You can't do that. There's not as much time to do those things when you're playing, games and on the road and whatever. And you will fall. Look, people tend to, there's exceptions. And I want to say again, I hope he is the exception, but people typically fall back to who they are. And if he is, and I don't know that but if he is, I'll use your example. If he is a McDonald's eating, soda drinking, gummy bear chewing dude, then that's who he will fall back to, because it is really hard if that's the type of person you are at. How old is he now?
26.
Okay, he's got time. He's got 26 is okay. He's got time. So if he changes his routine and his lifestyle, and like you realize, oh wow, I feel better, I'm going to stick with it, then I'm all for it. and I hope it becomes, you know, a lifestyle choice, and he plays for another 15 years, and the defense improves because he's more, you know, fleet of foot. I hope that. I just, maybe it's just me, man. I just don't have faith in people. And I think he's going to be with me at the drive-through getting 2 double Big Macs, large fries, milkshake, and 2 apple pies. Oh, and an ice cream, because it's actually really good if you take the apple pie and dip it into the vanilla ice cream. It's delicious. But you can't do one enough. You got to do 2 of them. So what you do is, listen, for the people at home, I'm going to teach you something delicious here. If you want a cheap, because a lot of times you can get a cone and the apple pies for like $2-3, all of it. Okay. Ask for a vanilla cone in a cup. Okay, so they'll put the vanilla cone in a cup, so that way you only get charged $1 versus $2.50 for a sundae. So vanilla cone in a cup, and then 2 apple pies, because they have the one. It's like 1 for $1. Sometimes it's 2 for $1.50 or something like that, right? So then you put the 2 apple pies right there on top of the ice cream in a cup, and then with your spoon just kind of smush it in there.
Yeah.
Oh, baby, you've never tasted anything better. I think even as a vegan, you can't have the ice cream.
Sorry,
brother.
Actually, I was with my daughter. We went to a vegan restaurant, vegan ice cream restaurant.
Ice cream?
You
could. Well, yeah, there's certain ice creams that you make with water.
So good.
There's certain that you can make with water. But for us regular people, you take those 2 apple pies, you put them in the. Ooh, it's so good. You know what? I might go get one right now. Sorry, the show is over early. I gotta go to the.
Tone doesn't have any faith in people.
I don't have faith. I don't have faith. Okay.
People suck.
I purposely put the link in. Where's these prices, Tone? Any McDonald's in the summer, they have ice cream cones for $1. And I'm in Canada, it's more expensive. So I'm bringing this list up, and we're going to talk about it for 1 minute, and then the guys that are sitting waiting that have already clicked in, I'm going to bring you up to talk about what you want to talk about, or you can talk about this too. So the best basketball player in the world, we didn't get to each position.
We did not.
I knew I was forgetting something. All right. Anyways, best basketball player in the world since 2000. So they got Shaq, KG, Duncan, Kobe, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis, Jokic, and SGA last year.
Yep.
Agree, disagree?
Shaq 2000, yes. Shaq 2001, yes. Shaq 2002, yes. 2003, flip 2003 and 2004. I think Duncan was the best player in the world in 2003. I think Garnett and Duncan have I think that they have a different case in 2003, 2004. I think Garnett, you can make the legit argument that Garnett was the best player in the world. I still think it was Duncan at that point, because winning matters. As good as Garnett was, I think that winning matters, and Duncan was doing that. Shaq was doing that. Garnett had a great season, and I think that he got pushed up the line, but I think that there's more of a conversation in 04 than it is in 03. In 05, I think it's Duncan. In 06, going into the 05-06 season, it's Duncan. 06, I could get with Bryant. In 07, I thought in 07 there was conversation about Dirk Nowitzki and Bryant, even though it was Bryant. In 08, Bryant, no doubt. In 09, I thought it was James, but when they won the NBA championship and then he won the Finals MVP after winning the league MVP the year before that, if I'm doing that with Duncan, I got to do that with Bryant. And then in 2010, I feel like it was official with Bryant, even though I felt like James was the better player at that point. Even though I felt like James was the better player at that point, I had to concede that it was Bryant. From 2010-11 all the way to 2018, it's James. Like Kevin Durant.
You don't think Durant had 14?
No, I don't. I don't think any of these years, any of these dudes. James shut in 2016. James shut that down. As good as Curry was, the unanimous league MVP season, I think James shut the door on that with the Ultimate Warrior t-shirt when they came back and beat them in the NBA championship. James shut the door on that. In 17, and what he did in 18 with that team with 7 new guys on the roster going into the 17-18 season, and then the roster getting flipped again, where we got 5 new guys. So now I got 12 different guys on the crew, and with 12 different guys on the crew, he still manages to take that team to the Eastern Conference Championship. With that being said, 2019, James ended up getting hurt. Kawhi Leonard, I mean, he played 60 games that year. I think the playoffs is what pushed him over the top.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with that.
I think he played like 65 or something like that. But yeah, it was. But yeah, the
There's
playoff run is. Yeah.
There's people who say Giannis in 2020. I think it was James. I think that COVID shut the season down. If COVID hadn't shut the season down, I think James wins the league MVP again. They win the NBA championship again, and I think it's James. 21, I'm comfortable with Giannis. 22, I think we can have a conversation about a number of different guys. I can get with Jokic. I can definitely get with Jokic, but there's a number of different guys at that time.
I thought it could have been. I think that's the one and only year it could have been Embiid.
Could it? Let me ask you this question, Tony. In 22, could it also have been KD?
No, he's not that type of player.
Could it also have been James Harden?
It could have been James Harden.
It could have been James Harden. Could it have been Steph Curry in 22? Because it's the same Steph Curry.
I didn't have him, but you could probably make a case. I didn't have him, but you could.
I think that in 23, I'm comfortable with Joker being in the league and being the best player in the league. I think he was.
I'm comfortable
with the same thing last year. And the same thing in 24, I'm comfortable. Last year, I think SGA is now. I think he's more in that conversation. If you want to put him as the best player in the league, I'm comfortable with that. Yes, I am.
I think mine's fairly similar, although I don't have as many runs as you have, right? Like I have Shaq, Duncan, Garnett, Duncan, and then it's like Kobe, Duncan, Kobe, LeBron. I do have KD in 14. I then LeBron, then Steph, then LeBron. Although I do agree with the Kawhi, I want to give in 19 some love to Giannis too, because I think he was. Like we were scared of Giannis in 2019, and when I say we, I mean anyone who faced Giannis for any he was.
That Milwaukee team was not a walk in the park.
He was phenomenal.
No, it wasn't.
And then I think it's Giannis. Like I said, then that 22 year, I think it's a toss up between Jokic and Embiid, but I'll go Embiid, and then Jokic, and I still think Jokic. I think SJ probably this would be his year. I think this would be his year, but I did give Steph that year.
Yeah.
Where he was the unanimous MVP. Like he was phenomenal that year.
Yep.
So let's pull up. I don't know what Leaf if it's, are you talking about this or something else? Because if it's something else, I will take off the graphic.
No. We could talk about this. I'm all right with most of this list. 2000, 2001. I got Shaq. 02, I'm inclined to go with Duncan, but I'll take Shaq. 03, I got Duncan. 04, I got I guess you could say KG. I'm okay with the flip flop. I agree with Chilltown with that. 05, I got Duncan for sure. 06 is kind of tricky because I might have Duncan with that year too. Kobe in 07 maybe. I do agree with Chilltown with it could probably be Kobe or Dirk, but I got Kobe from 07 to 2010. Or at least 2010, at least 2011.
Yeah. I think I had Duncan in those years, but yeah, I had a run of Kobe too.
Yeah. So Kobe from 2007 to 2011 or 2010, excuse me. I'm gonna give him the 2011. LeBron from 2012 to 2016. 2017, 2018, I got Kevin Durant. 2019, I got Kawhi. 2020, damn, you might could take Giannis. He did do a double dance with MVP and Depoy. 2021, I got Giannis. 2022, I got Giannis again. 2023, I got Joker. 2024, I got Joker. And 2025, I go with SGA. So that was my list. It's a little bit mixed up, but I mean, yeah, I go with that. But Chill, I wanted to put something on your mind just now. You might know the name. So if you get a chance, type in Western Texas College. I'm literally right down the road from it. The reason why I said that because you might remember this name. Paul Pressey, from
Mhm.
the Milwaukee Bucks. He played there and he won a championship back in the 80s. So
Mhm.
I'm right down the road, and they got like I went in the Coliseum because they got rodeos in there and whatever. I ain't go to a rodeo.
Mhm.
I ain't that crazy. I'm from Brooklyn. So, but
Mhm.
they got a whole shrine of him and everything up in there, and I seen it.
Mhm.
And Paul and to my knowledge, Paul Pressey is the only NBA player to go to Western Texas College. So I'm literally right down the road from it.
That's dope.
Yeah, so I'm
Word.
right
That's
down the
dope.
road for it.
Feeling that. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely. Yeah. But I actually wanted to talk about listen, I'll be honest with you, and I ain't gonna yell. I am gonna yell because I'm in the car. The Kobe disrespect needs to stop. It needs to be ended immediately. Fluent, if I know you don't approve of this at all. It's disgusting.
Did a whole show
It's
about
it's
it
it's
on
belittling.
NBA Max. Did a whole show on it, NBA Max.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's gross, and it needs to stop.
I
It
got a
needs to
question,
be
Lee.
ended. Now I'm not.
I got a
What's
question,
up?
Lee, and I was wondering this because I don't think that I'm that big of a deal because I came back to reality really quickly. Did I have something to do with this?
Yes.
It's possible you might have something
You
to do
think
with
you
this.
think you think I had something to do with this?
Listen. I'll be honest with you. Like social media and the internet is a pretty broad audience, chill. And when you yell out at the top of the tower, I mean, Kobe. I got Kobe Bryant at 11. More and more people got comfortable with that. Like, I mean, like, because if you look at the comments and when you said it, you not only you said it on many different platforms. And I don't know
So
if you noticed
basically,
or not, but you have a
so
broad
basically,
audience.
I was about to say though, Lee. So
You
essentially, what
got
you're saying
you
is
got
that
a hand in this. You got a hand
well,
in
that's what I'm
this.
saying because
Can I
it
tell
because
you why? Can I tell you why? A little bit to add to what Leaf is saying. Let me tell you why. Okay, so when we first started, you and then I, on Players Choice, the panel was called the Jason Williams Show, and
It
Jason
was.
Williams
I do remember that.
and Jason Williams said the most ridiculous thing ever when he said, "I don't know if Kobe Bryant's even a top 5 Laker all time," and you said,
that's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
You did. You definitely did say that because that's the first clip I ran into.
that
So,
was the
and
start
that
of
was
it.
about 3-4 years ago.
And what happened was that snowballed into you saying he's 11. And you and I had Shaq on Fluent Chill, and he said, that's blasphemous. But you said, here's my list. Then you went on that other show where you were defending things, and you said, between 7 and 11, I'm cool. And the guy said, 11? Oh, blah, blah, blah. And all of those and then that clip from you and I and Shaq on ESPN. So all of those things together put people who dislike Kobe or love LeBron so much or hate the Kobe fan who says he's the greatest player of all time and no one's even close, right? And they said, oh, here's a respected person. I'm not putting it all on you, but here's a respected person on multiple platforms saying it's okay to have Kobe outside of the top 10. Yeah, I think it's snowballed. So you might not have been the snowman, but you started that ball coming down the hill and
So basically, I'm the guy.
You had a
think
hand in this, chill.
you had a hand in it.
You think this? I just said it, and then when I said it, it's like, well, he said it. I really think that. So I'm gonna come out.
Gave him permission to say it out loud
because I said it. You know,
chill. What I will say is that I don't know if you noticed or not, man, but your audience is more broader than you think it is. I mean, whether it's TikTok, whether it's YouTube, whatever you want to, whatever platform that you have laid your foundation on, and you build your foundation off of talking a good a level of basketball prowess, and your level of history, bro, like is far exceeds a lot of people. But when you yell to the high heavens multiple times on multiple platforms, Kobe, I got Kobe at 11, and you stamped that. You said it while a lot of people was around and a lot of other basketball people were around. You said it while Lowe was around. You said it while Ticket was around. You said it while a lot of these dudes was around.
and
You said
stood
it
on it
on
too,
many.
and stood
Yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
and you stood on it. But what it does,
or
it,
it's
it
okay.
what it does, and speaking of what Fluent said, it made it okay for everybody else to think that too.
because people
So
people love this thing called confirmation bias. So they're going out and look, I don't blame them because people do this with LeBron too. Because the fans of certain players, typically LeBron, Jordan, Curry, Kobe, are so outrageously in love with their player that they say things so far-fetched about how their greatness is that people just automatically flip to the other side. So because Kobe fans are so nuts, there's a bunch of people that hate him and say, and they look for, well, where can I find stuff? This is the confirmation bias. Where can I find stuff that says he's not great? And then they believe it because they're like, well, that's what I already think. And they're just looking for things to agree with. And they go, oh, here's one. And then and that's why I say it's just they're looking for stuff because they already feel that way. Like I said, and they're looking for confirmation of what they already believe.
I can tell you one thing, Leaf, is a fact. Okay, like you just said about the disrespect. I can tell you one thing that is a fact. I am not going to be responsible for these people that's talking about Bryant. He ain't that good though. I ain't going to take no. You ain't involving me in that shit. Hell no. Like the top 10, the top 10. Yes. All right. When I listen to these people telling me, yo, Bryant wasn't this good. He wasn't that good. He wasn't this. I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's nuts.
Hell no. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
And you're not going to involve me in that right there. No.
How many players have played in the NBA in history?
How many what?
How many players have played in the NBA in history? About 5,000, right? You having
5,000.
You having him at 11 makes him in the top point, so 0.22% of people to play basketball in history. How that's disrespectful to say he's garbage. That's a whole nother crazy. That's not you. That's a whole nother crazy. 11 means he's in the top 2%.
No, I'm not going to be responsible.
Right. But Fluent, what happens is like there's a certain level of youth that outnumbers a certain level of wisdom.
Agreed.
And the thing is, it's a certain level of youth that outnumbers a certain level of wisdom, bro. In Chilltown, listen, I don't want to say this out loud, but he kind of got to clean this shit up because he started this. He started this monster. And now he done powered it and injected so many needles in the shit. Now it's Chilltown. You got to clean this shit up.
I will say that's wrong. It was going on way before, and it all has to do with his.
Do you hear me?
His proximity to Jordan. It all has to do with his proximity to Jordan, and that's where the hate started. Like I said, I think your voice maybe gave some people the okay to be louder about it, but I've said this to you before.
I got Kobe top 5. I got Kobe top 5.
I have Kobe depending on the day 5'6", and he's my second favorite player all time. And when he told me 11 and we had that conversation, he made Chill and I always do this, right? Where he's like, he understands why I have him at 6. I understand why he has him at 11. It doesn't mean he's garbage.
Right.
It's just how you rank and where you value certain things.
When I first set the tone when it was 11.
Okay.
Tone was ready to tear my head off like a pack of wolves.
I was flying.
But when I sat down and I explained why I had him at 11. Well, wait a minute now. That does make sense.
Chilltown.
We can still disagree, but understand each other.
Okay, I get it. All right, I get it.
And
that makes more sense.
Right. And before I go, and Chilltown, respectfully, I never argued. Hold up, I never argued you on this, but because I understand your point. Kobe was kind of your quote unquote unspoken gatekeeper for like the top 10. I understood that. But what I mistakenly allowed you to keep continuing to tell this story, but without actually explaining to the youth about why he was at 11. So now that made all of these Curry minions and all of these other minions of other players stands. That made it okay.
Didn't they?
Yes.
Right past.
Yes.
So leave at the door of the club. Leaf at the door of the club, and the door is open right behind you, and a bunch of people snuck in behind Leaf while he's talking to somebody else. That's the Curry fans.
That's what happened. Yes. That's what happened in Chilltown. Now you got to be responsible for cleaning this shit up. because
I
you
got
created this monster, and now you have to
out.
destroy it.
You out. Let's go. You out.
You got it, your bro. You can't. Here's the thing, Chilltown, bro. Like, the thing is, we are so enamored. It's one of the best pastimes we got right now in basketball, naming our top tens. Everybody does it. But the thing is, the confirmation bias that Fluent was talking about allows people more ammunition in the gun. It allows you to turn a Uzi into a Tech 9 and a Tech 9 into a 50 caliber and a 60 caliber, and the shit gets loaded and loaded and loaded. You got to clean this shit up. This shit can't stand. I allowed it. I didn't challenge you on it. I allowed it for 3 years. It's got to stop. You old enough to know better. Stop letting these dudes in the back door that don't belong in this shit. This is not a laughing matter. Stop.
We're over time, so we got to move on. You can hang out.
I'll see y'all soon, man. Peace out.
Appreciate you. Allowing Steph to slide into the top 10 while Kobe's at 11 means your gatekeeper didn't do a job. Eating your vitamins, brother.
What up?
Do you guys think if the Cavs don't make the conference finals or at the finals minimum this year, are you guys blowing this team up, or does Donovan Mitchell ask to leave?
Yes, I'm out.
I'll repeat it.
This is the most wide open the East is going to be.
If the Cavs, I'll repeat it. If the Cavs don't make the Eastern Conference Final, do you blow the team up, and or is Mitchell
leaving?
The conference finals isn't my barometer because at the Oklahoma City Thunder won the NBA championship. They didn't make the conference finals, so that's not my issue with them.
But you have them winning I
got the Cavs winning the NBA championship.
The East is not going to be wide open next year, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is like their shot.
Well, it wasn't, and it was their shot this year, and I had them as good as they were. I had them at the top of the East. I had them going to the East Finals. This season coming up, the 25-26 season, they got everything necessary to win the NBA championship. If they don't do it, I'm out.
On the whole team, just blow it up.
I'm out.
So you're saying start over?
If this team doesn't win the NBA championship, you don't have to blow it up. I'm just out.
Okay, you're out. Okay,
I'm out. Yep, that's where I'm
That's
at.
all I got. Thanks, guys.
Right, I appreciate you.
All right, brother.
All right. On that note, we're gonna end with our final, or his final 2 cents.
What up?
I keep forgetting.
What's good? I was muted.
I got to make an intro for the final 2 cents, so that's on me. I'll get it done. But go ahead.
That's what's up, man. I'm gonna put it on the 2-minute mark. But here's what I'm gonna say. Here's the difference. I try to not get into a hypothetical because I always look at it as a rabbit hole. But on podcasts with lists and things like that, it's something different. Now, when I talk to Chilltown and Fluent, they're talking hypothesis. It's a difference. It's an educated guess because
hypotheticals and a hypothetical and a hypothesis are not the same thing.
Not. Yeah, and exactly. And see, sometimes you get caught, people can get caught up in the chat and everything else with people that's doing hypotheticals. Okay, that is still a hypothetical, but when I listen to you guys on there, you're giving me a hypothesis. And if they don't know what it is, they got Google. And all I'm saying, a list of who's going to win the championship is only from people like you guys is an educated guess. And I understand that. And I don't go down the rabbit hole with people talking about if Michael Jordan was 6'2" and what would he do and all this. Man, it's an endless argument. And it's pointless and all this kind of no. If you want to stick to you want to talk to me.
Jordan was 6'9". He wasn't 6'9". What are you doing?
Right. Yes. That's the thing that I'm talking about. But I'm like, man, I'm not gonna have no argument about Spider-Man can beat Batman. No, I'm not gonna do that. Talk facts. If you can talk facts, you'll run a lot of people off because facts is rooted in logic. Ain't nobody talking about your emotional, but I feel like this team is, man, it shut the conversation down so fast. I promise you. And sometimes you can compare and like, oh, okay, I understand. Yeah, he did have this amount of numbers and that. I have something to compare it to. And I say, when people say something about LeBron, I'm not no big LeBron fan like that. His jersey all over my house. But I say, if LeBron is a bum, what is your guy you talking about? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I looked at that list, man. His name was all through that with best player in the world or whatever. I mean, but yeah, we have to listen to it. It's great conversation. And I love to listen to y'all because y'all don't do the super hypothetical. It's hypothesis based upon Orlando number 3 is still a hypothesis. It's an educated guess. You didn't say Charlotte Hornets.
No, I did not. No, I did not.
Yeah, you giving an educated guess, man. I appreciate y'all both.
Absolutely, too. Good to talk to you, brother. No doubt. There's a difference between a hypothesis and a hypothetical. Absolutely. No doubt. Those are things
you know whose fault it is with those hypotheticals?
Kobe.
Because remember he said if Allen Iverson was 6'6", we'd all be in trouble.
Only Kyrie Irving, if he was 6'5", if he was 6'8", well, Kyrie Irving ain't 6'5". No,
I did hear a good one. Someone said they were comparing. It was probably the most interesting because the GOAT debate's boring now, but it was the most interesting GOAT debate spin. They were like, who would LeBron James be if he was Jordan size compared to who would Jordan be if he was LeBron size?
The GOAT debate, Tony, it's crazy that you mentioned that. It is kind of played out, isn't it?
It's the same. There's no new information.
It really isn't. There's nothing new, right? It's the same. We're going over the same thing over and over.
The last time you and I did it, the proper way it should be done was 2 years ago.
Yes,
and I don't think we've done it, and we haven't done it since. But listen,
we don't need to do it.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's super fun to troll LeBron James fans on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, and them thinking I'm serious and sending me death threats. Did I tell you that I got another new one?
No, you didn't.
I read it. Let me read it to you. Oh yeah, let me read this to you because it's hilarious. If I can find it, because I try not to delete them, but sometimes the system deletes them because they're it's gone. Damn. Oh, that's
no reason. It's greatness. There's no reason to talk about it no more. Like, what else is there to talk about that hasn't been already discussed? Like, there is no new information. James is, for me, James is who he is.
I found it. You are the stupidest media wannabe that I've ever seen. You have no knowledge, and you have the nerve to call yourself a sports person. Calm, I think they mean something else, but they were typing, I guess, angrily. Calm would have never beat Carl would have never beat LeBron's teams. They were too sound. He should have beat Michael Jordan because all Michael Jordan does was hand check people and call it defense. If it weren't for Scottie Pippen, he wouldn't have any of those championships. At the end, Dennis Rodman bailed him out. You're a complete moron and should die. And your mother gave birth to a probably from her anus because she had to shit you out. Garbage like you should be dead and in hell, and then sends a bunch of hell devil.
What a goofball!
Like, and that was his. There was his what
a goofball! Goofball alert!
See, that's and you would delete him. I just leave it and laugh because I think it's hilarious.
Goofball!
I think it's so funny.
Goofball, 100% goofball.
Oh, man. Anyways,
break.
On that note,
y'all know what time it is. We are out of time, and it was great to see you guys. Me and my man Tony Tone, we do this every week. We will keep you guys tuned in, and we will keep you up to date on what we got going on. We will see you guys soon. You know where to find us at right here on the Chilltown Hoops and the Sports Fluent Network. We will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When's the last time you talked to your mother? Call your mother. We'll talk to you guys soon, but until then, take it light. Take it. Absolutely, man. It was good to see you guys tonight.
Next week, biggest gap.
Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.